Because of your smile, life is more beautiful. Ano besito.
Happy birthday. This is such a cool idea. I'm really happy to be a part of it. So I guess I'll say the first time I met Jenny was at grad school, and I was creepily staring at her because I was convinced she was her sister Kelly, who I had worked with previously, and was really excited because I was like, oh, I know someone at grad school. Well, turns out Jenny is just as cool, maybe cooler. Sorry, Kelly, if you're watching this. And it was really awesome to meet her and work with her and become friends with her at the grad school. So without Jenny, I would have not survived research methods in grad school. In fact, I would have probably punched the teacher like 5 or 6 times. But instead, every single time I got frustrated with the teacher, I just turned to Jenny and she was like smiling and laughing and being her awesome self, which just made me feel dumb for wanting to punch our teacher, but she did deserve it. And helped me kind of get through that class and pretty much every class in grad school. Also, the picture chosen for this, the sheep, I got to do that fun activity with Jenny. So basically, sorry, I am rambling. I don't know how long this is supposed to be. But in general, Jenny, since the moment I met her, has had a very positive impact on my life. In so many ways, helping me get through grad school, just being an amazing friend. Like from the moment we became friends, she was always there for me, always just one text, phone call away, whether it was about homework or boys or whatever it may be. And I'm excited to be a part of your celebration for your 30th birthday. And I can't wait to make more memories. Love you, Jenny.
I'm so lucky to have you as such a close friend for so many years. We've had too many memories to count, but regardless of if we were 17 and doing donuts in the parking lot with Gonzaga boys, or almost approaching 30 and still dancing the Backstreet Boys, you've always inspired me to have fun no matter what. Regardless of what life brings your way, you always remain true and honest with yourself, and I'm inspired by your ability to fight for your happiness while simultaneously impacting the lives of so many. Know that I always have your back. I love you. Happy birthday. Bye.
In the summer of 2007, Jenny and I were in London with our mom and our dad, and we're sisters. We got into some very, very bad fights as kids. Just very ferocious, vicious, violent, and this one was no exception. The climax of that fight, look, I did things I'm not proud of. Jenny took some orange juice and she poured it into my favorite pair of shoes, the shoes that I wore every day, and they stank like I wore them every day, and I'm sure that they smelled better with the orange juice than without the orange juice, but that's besides the point. I think about that a lot. However, most importantly, 10 years later, I'm at Jenny's grad school graduation. She's getting a master's in social work. And I'm an anxious person, and I was running pretty anxious that day. And Jenny noticed, and without even thinking about it, she told me to start tapping myself rhythmically to get myself to calm down. I thought, okay, why not? I'll give it a shot. I tried it, and it worked. I felt better. And I thought to myself, Jenny has gone from a person that pours orange juice into my shoes to make me feel worse. She's turned into a person that gives me coping strategies, coping techniques to make me feel better. That is a hell of an evolution that I've had the pleasure to watch. With that being said, Jenny, you are not allowed near my shoes, and you are not allowed near my shoes. You're not allowed near my shoes with any sort of liquid. I hope you understand.
Hey Jenny, it's David coming to you live from Denver, Colorado. I want to wish you a very happy birthday. This is your tribute. I'll talk about the first time that I ever interacted with you. It was over email. I had never met you, but I was trying to get some of Mickey's Arlington friends to work on a project for me to write letters to Mickey to help her through her Peace Corps service. And after shooting out 2 or 3 emails, you responded to me really quickly and told me that you would take care of everything on that end and collect the letters for me and send them to me. So I really appreciated that, knowing that you were going to take care of your friend Mickey. So that spoke a lot about you as a first interaction to have. The other thing I would say is that every time I see you, it seems like you have a big smile on your face, and it really lights up the room, so I appreciate that about you as well. So I'm glad to know you. I'm glad that we're friends through Mickey, and I hope you have a great birthday and a great trip coming up. See ya.
Chula, JC, Jenny Cook, happy birthday! So I'm going to talk about how you've positively impacted my life, which is in so many ways. You are hilarious, full of energy and a great sense of humor, very dry, very self-deprecating, which you really don't need to be, but you're hilarious, so thank you for that. You're also inspirational in that I remember the first time I really got to know you and met you was in 6th grade band class. And I remember I always thought, oh, Jenny is so good at clarinet. Like, what? And yeah, it was really inspirational. I know that, you worked really hard at it. You took private lessons. But yeah, you had just like this beautiful tone and always played those scales and those parts in the music correctly. So that's when we first met, and since then, how you've really positively impacted me is you've been such a great friend. You're so reliable. I can call you at any time. I know you'll answer, or if you don't, you always call me back. You consistently stay in touch, and you've always just been there for me. I know you've done a lot for me. You've written me recommendations, one for the Peace Corps, one for a mentoring program. You've been a reference for me for a background check at a job. You're just always there for me and really reliable, and I think you are the model of a wonderful, close, and best friend. And I just really appreciate you. You're talented musically, you are reliable and a wonderful friend. You are supportive. I can call you whenever I'm crying or having a terrible day. You always check in on me during the good and the bad, and you support me, and I am just forever grateful for you, Jenny. You're wonderful, and I hope you have an amazing 30th birthday. Can't wait to go on a trip with you and Bianca and Mads, and I love you, and I'm very proud of you. I'm proud to be your friend and honored to have grown up with you and to continue adulting with you. So, love you. Bye.
Hello. Jenny and I were roommates when we were studying abroad together in Madrid, and she is just the most fun-loving, carefree person. I couldn't have asked for a better roommate or partner in crime while living in Spain, and we have some pretty amazing memories together, like taking one too many shots of absinthe or and ice skating together in Amsterdam. Jenny, I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and I miss you. Love you.
Hi Jenny, happy birthday! I gotta say, I think it's really awesome that this tribute's been made for you, because I think that you really deserve to be told how awesome you are every single day of the week, and this will be a great thing for you to come back to whenever you're feeling down. But on a higher note, I just want to thank you for always being so welcoming and just making me feel a part of the community from the start. Like, you were one of the very first people that I met, and you immediately had open arms and a bottle of wine to share, and I don't know, you just always make me feel really safe, and like I have space with you, like I'm able to share with you, and yeah, I don't know, it's always a good time when I'm with you. I can't think of a single time where I've been bummed out or just, you know, not enjoyed myself. You're always down for a laugh, and I love that you allow yourself to be flexible in such a way that you're still not pushing your own boundaries. And I think I've seen more and more of that from you as I've known you, and I really love watching you grow and become an even stronger and more badass woman. So happy birthday. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I love you so, so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Special because you deserve it. You do so much work to help other people, and I know that I couldn't have gotten through grad school without you and all of your support. You are the most amazing listener, and I probably talked way too much and should have listened to you more, but I know that that's why you're an amazing therapist, because you're just so empathetic and supportive. And I know that any time spent together results in something really funny, because you have the funniest stories about your social work adventures, and you're just a positive light to be around in general. So I hope you have an amazing day. Do something really special. Happy birthday.
Hey Jen, it's your brother here. I spent the day out in the woods just thinking about how great you are and how many times you've saved my butt in this world. Sometimes it's funny, like when you flew out of that dark corner in the basement of McFadden's completely unseen to put a guy in a chokehold so he couldn't break my neck. Other times super serious. You know, when I hit my rock bottom, you were the first person there by my side helping me figure out what the next step back was going to be. And I think that's the greatest thing about you, is that your whole life you've always been ready to help others, no matter what's going on with you. You're just an angel. You set the gold standard for taking care of other people. And I really appreciate it. I know everybody else does. And we all love you so much and hope that you have a great 30th birthday. Bye.
Here to chat about how amazing you are and how much I love you and all the things, not even all, because let's be real, there's too many to even mention, but a lot of the different ways, or some of the different ways that you have really kind of just touched my life and inspired me. It's hard to even know where to begin because we've been through so much, and I think that some of the ways that you've inspired me have, like, you know, shifted and grown and evolved as we have. I think one of the ways has been through your use of humor. I just know, even from like when we first met, thinking about our first meeting and like laughing with each other and kind of joking about things and having some negative interactions with other peers that impacted like feeling like included and loved, and just how we were able to, one, shit talk, and then also use our humor to like connect with each other, to have fun, to laugh at some of the silliness or like the frustrations that were going on outside of you know, our individual dynamic at the time. So humor has always been a way that you've really inspired me. Another way that you really inspire me is like through your creative aspects, especially through music. I feel like you've always had this ability, even like when you said you weren't very good at the clarinet and whatever, you just had this ability to kind of like pick things up really easily. And it's appeared easy from the outside. I'm sure it doesn't feel as easy from your perspective, but just from watching you, it just seemed like you were kind of really in touch with things and musically centered. And I've always kind of really enjoyed your musical expression, whether that's been singing with you, coming up with the same song, yet with 500 different ways that we could sing it with different voices, like really kind of being creatively like weird and open with each other. And I feel like that inspired me to be more creative and to think of things in different ways and to like push myself and to just get weird with it and have fun with it. And, you know, it's been something that I've constantly used in my life in many different creative aspects that I've had of like, how can I just have fun with this? And how can I take it back to like the weirdness? I think of those moments in my mom's bathroom where we were just like belting out all these weird sounds. And it's just like, that felt like living life fully. And so I'm very grateful that we got to share that, as well as like so many adventures, being at each other's houses, being reckless as teenagers in the middle of the night, taking cabs places. I'm not going to say that you necessarily like inspired me to be reckless, because I definitely had that on my own accord, but I think that we definitely like inspired each other to like get out and do things and meet people, and even if it was against the rule, it was kind of like we had each other's backs, so we knew that we could do whatever it was, even if that meant me holding your purse up for you as you threw open it in the cab. We just kind of knew that like, all right, we can do this because we have each other, and we're gonna go out there and just be ratchet and also like normal middle schoolers. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like you have so many different aspects of you that like inspire me. You always had a really strong work ethic when it comes to school. Like, I feel like even though we went out and we partied and we were like going out all the time and doing things, like you still maintained really good grades. You got me through Spanish class. I don't even know if I would have graduated. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I just, you know, it felt like I was always really impressed by your ability to like show up. And when I would read off like random phrases from like whatever theory of knowledge, no, it wasn't theory of knowledge. It was the class with about the different leaders. I don't even remember what the name of the class was. Wow. But I just remember like I would read off whatever sentence I could find in the book first. And even if like you weren't paying attention, I feel like when you would get called on, like you would just know the answer or you would have it. And they would always be like, yes, Jenny, like that was great. That was so good. And just really cool to see how you've like grown and shifted. And you always inspired me with your acting and watching you as Annie and just kind of putting yourself out there in front of like this huge crowd as like a young kid and just being like, this is what I want to do. And even though you had to deal with some scams and some other stuff that were challenging, you just kind of like went with it and you like continued to like do what you wanted to do. You're like, I want to go to Miami. You went to Miami, and then, you know, none of us ever lived it down. I'm from Miami. You don't even know I'm from Miami. So yeah, I just like was really inspired by that. Like a lot of us kind of stayed close, like in a couple hours from home, and you went farther away, and luckily we were able to come visit you and go to Ultra and like have that kind of fun, which was really awesome. And I was always grateful for that. Just also just impressed with your ability to like do the thing, to go far away to a school that you didn't really know many people at all, and pursue like this dream of yours. And you know, even though things shifted and changed as you were going through school and like what you decided to do with your career, like I feel like you just kind of stayed with it. And I don't know, it's really inspiring that you just like had always seemed to like keep a positive attitude about it. And always going to be inspired and just touched by like your love of animals and how like sweet you are. And this picture of you on the tribute is just like a testament to that. When we like get to be around animals and like just see you glow, it's always really nice and warming. And when you see Gracie and you get excited, it's always like very touching. I mean, there's just so much. I feel like you've always been there as like a true soul friend, a connection. Our moments in the tent at PDF where we were just like hiding under the blanket, being like, wow, bicycling through hell together. And yet still, even in those moments that were scary, even when I was talking about like, let me just pee myself tent rather than going out and dealing with the scares of the world and all the energy that was going on. We still like laughed about it. We still had fun. We even laugh about it now. And, I think that that's like a testament to like our relationship and the strength that we have just to kind of get through even the toughest situations with laughing through it. I mean, even now, like when we're going through it, not necessarily with each other, but our external lives, right? And kind of talking to each other, use humor a lot. And I appreciate that. And you're just a great person. I feel like you have such a sweet soul and you're so loving and kind and deserve all the best things in life. And that like sweetness has always kind of like touched me, because I feel like I'm nice and I have that going for me, but like, I don't know, I can get kind of aggressive and like in your face, and you've always had this like very like graceful, gentle way of approaching people, and that's really inspired me to find that gentleness in the way that I approach people, only when you're not drinking and in Miami, because that's a whole nother situation. But I've always really admired that about you, and have learned a lot about that. Even just kind of like the way that you'll process things before feeling like you need to jump into it. Like I always feel like I kind of have to say my piece immediately, and I think that you've taught me a little bit more patience and a little more compassion, and you've really helped me as a friend, and I love you very much. I don't know, could never even imagine what life would be like without having you in it. So I'm just so grateful that we know each other, that we have each other, and here's to at least another 30 years, probably 90, of Shenan's in the world. I love you very much. I hope you have the most wonderful birthday. You are a star in this world, and I'm so grateful to know you. Love you, babe.
Hi, Jenny. So, tribute to Jenny on her happy birthday day. So, I could say all kinds of things. Jenny's talented, she's brilliant, she's funny, she's beautiful, she's dedicated, all that stuff. But, hey, I'm her mom. I have to say that stuff, but I mean it though. It's true. She is all those things. But I thought it'd be more fun to tell you some embarrassing stuff about Jenny. She wasn't always this poised person she is today. When she was really little, she really didn't want to give up anything to the toilet. Pee was okay. She got that down pretty fast. But the other thing, and it was really, really frustrating. Especially when we went to the beach. And she refused to do it in the diaper, in the toilet, anywhere. So she just held it in. She was really constipated. And it all reached a fever pitch when we took the ferry over from Rehoboth to Cape May, New Jersey. And it was kind of a rough day because it was raining, weather wasn't really nice at all, and the water was pretty rough. So the ferry was bouncing around a bit, and I'm not a great sailor, so I was sick to begin with. But then Jenny said, I have to go. So we went down to the bathroom, which of course in this ferry was pretty smelly and disgusting, and I was already feeling pretty seasick. And so she sat on the pot and wouldn't do it. Of course, she felt like she had to, but she wouldn't do it. And I got pretty darn sick. That was Jenny. Anyhow, she did finally do it, only because we bribed her with some stuffed Dalmatian puppy animals. So that was Jenny. Anyway, she was also kind of a funny kid. I mean, she did some really funny stuff. And mainly, I think it was her dreamy state. But, she'd go to preschool, and they were always calling me because she was lying on the couch staring at the ceiling. But the thing was, she was really happy. I don't know why they made a big deal out of it, but they did. It was Jenny just staring at the ceiling. She also did some pretty normal stuff, like, getting naked with her best friend in the little curtained playhouse they had, and, I did that too when I was a kid. So, I thought that was Jenny's pretty normal, but they made me take her to therapists, and we had to go to Children's Hospital, and she had electrodes all over her head, and it was really something. But there was Jenny with her also dreamy state in her ballet class and tap class with Miss Pat, the YMCA class. And so Jenny would just kind of stand there and tap her foot back and forth, looking, just kind of looking around, oh, what's going on here? And then they had the big recital at Swanson, and Jenny's up on stage just tapping her foot back and forth, and everybody else is doing their little routine. But Jenny's just tapping her foot, having fun. And then there was Jenny in the soccer field doing the same thing with the Pocahontases. She would just stand out in the outfield and just kind of stare at the grass, and she was totally happy. Nothing wrong there, but she wasn't going to do anything else. And the same thing with T-ball. Same thing. She'd be out there in the outfield just staring at the grass, but, totally happy kid. I never thought there was anything wrong there. She just didn't want to exert herself too much. So, dreamy Jenny. But anyway, as she got older, I got to tell you the story about, Jenny's always been a dramatic kid. And from day one, she was singing and dancing as much as she could. And the cutest thing was her brother Alex, choreographed an entire Beauty and the Beast scenario, and they acted out the whole thing for the camera. And their dad even took part. He was the horse or the beast or whatever it was, and Alex and Jenny played their parts beautifully. And at the end, when they're dancing at the ball, big full-on mouth-to-mouth kiss. It was the cutest thing ever. But anyway, she was always dramatic, singing, dancing Jenny. And this all kind of burst out when she was, I think it was 9 years old. She went to an audition over at McLean Community Center. They were doing a production of Annie, and darned if the kid didn't get a part. And she played an orphan, and it was really, really fun for Mom too, because I got to play the flute in the orchestra. So I was down there in the pit watching my kid, doing her thing up on the stage. It was really fun, and that blossomed into an even bigger part in Annie when I guess it was like 4 years later, she got the lead. She was Annie in Bowie. And the audition was crazy. I mean, there were all these kids just sort of, "The sun will come out," and Jenny's like, in her beautiful big voice, "The sun will come out." Everybody just sort of went, whoa. So she did that, and at the same time, she was just going into high school, and she got the part of Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird in the Washington Lee production of To Kill a Mockingbird. Anyway, she was an older kid, but she looked like she was 9. So she had little braids and the overalls and did a great job, and it all went on from there. She just flew. Lots of fun. I really, really enjoyed that. Not that she wasn't a total pain in the ass to Mommy, especially, but, it was Jenny. Anyhow, she's a great kid. She's grown up into a marvelous adult. And I gotta say, Jen, here you are turning 30 years old, and you think it's old. I'm delighted because you are a wonderful person, and you are my best friend. Happy birthday, Jen.